Namo
Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Today is the February 18th, 2015. Last week we started about rootless consciousness 18th. So a few weeks ago we started about unwholesome consciousness 12. So we already studied consciousness 13th. So what today is we're going to study about the sensuous spheres wholesome consciousness 8. So we should know how our consciousness. And we study about unwholesome consciousness. So we need to change our minds from unwholesome consciousness to wholesome consciousness. Regarding about wholesome consciousness, we classify as 8 consciousness. Will you be able to memorize unwholesome consciousness rooted in greed? 8, right? For our sensuous views, wholesome consciousness is very easy. Only one word different. Right? Only one word different. So here's the first one, with pleasure, with knowledge, unprompted. See that, right? When we study about unwholesome consciousness rooted in greed, with wrong view, right? Now with knowledge. Only one word different. So very easy to remember. So we study, because I don't want to go in detail regarding about this consciousness, because I would like to proceed to the law of causal relations, object, condition, arahana, and so on. So I just go roughly so that all of you know how many classes of consciousness we have. Here, when we do some generosity, you observe this 5 precepts, 8 precepts, 10 precepts, 127 precepts as morality. Some you practice tranquility meditation, some insight vipassana meditation. Some you do some voluntary work, service. Some may pay homage to the Buddha doctrines, the Buddha holy disciple, and so on. At that moment, what type of consciousness arises in your mind? You should know that. So, whatever we do, it's a good deed, good speech, and good thought. At that moment, one of these 8 sensual sphere wholesome consciousness arises. So we need to take example to understand the meaning of practice the 8 types of consciousness. This is the first consciousness here, with pleasure, with knowledge, and unprompted. So for example, you come to the temple, you offer breakfast, lunch, or some things to the monk. At that moment, do you feel pleasant feeling? This means with pleasure. This your mind accompanied with pleasure. Number one, right? And with knowledge. You understand as though this kind of generosity makes the offering is the good thing to do. It's the good karma. As you do the good karma, so you receive the good consequences. You know the karma and its result. This means connected with knowledge and unprompted. Without prompted by anyone, from your heart. You do it the right way. So without used by anyone. So this type of consciousness, with pleasure, with knowledge, and unprompted, this is the best one. The best one. See that? Because you will be very happy about what are you doing. You know it's the good thing to do. You receive the good sign. And from your heart, rose at once. No one forced. See that, right? It's the number one. If you do this number one, what you will receive is talking about later. So you will receive the first one, the best one, after self. So number two, with this accompanied with pleasure, associated with knowledge, prompt. See that? Prompt. What's meant prompted here? So you do generosity, you'll be very happy, with pleasure. And with knowledge, you know it's the good thing to do, this generosity, because we receive the good stuff. But he is being prompted by others, maybe your friend, suggests you, explain to you many, many times to do this good thing, and then you do it. You call it prompted. Understand, right? So the degrees, the qualities, a little lower. See that? So that's number two. Number two. How about number three? Accompanied with pleasure. Associate, but it's without knowledge. See? Without knowledge. We not understand the karma, the source of the karma, but unprompted. Unprompted. This means, so that's why we need to take some example. Right? Someone, mostly is the kid, come to the temple. When they come to the temple, as they come to the temple, you just bow 3 times. without telling them. This what's mean? Unprompted, right? Unprompted. Do they know the karma or this the soul karma? Doesn't know about it. They don't know about that, right? This means without knowledge. Look at their face, they smile, they're happy, right? That's why just with pleasure, without knowledge, unprompted. So, when we do some generosity, for example, you go somewhere, you see homeless people back there. When you see that, just you take money from your pocket, give it to them. You're happy about that, with pleasure, but you don't think about the karma. Without knowing the karma and its result. You do it right away, unprompted. See that, right? Step number 3. For number 4, with pleasure, without knowledge, and prompt. What's meant? As kids come to the temple, as soon as they get in the temple, they're very happy. They're very happy. And then their parents force them, hold their head, they bow 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, something like that. So this what number? Number 4, right? With pleasure, without knowledge, and prompt. Do they get smelly? Yes, of course. But slow, right? Number 4. Or number 5, with indifference. So with knowledge, it's unprompted. You do something, maybe generosity, maybe you pay homage to the Buddha and so on. How you feel? This neutral feeling. Start with indifference. But you know, oh, we should do that. So our Buddha, as our great teachers, that's why we pay homage to the Buddha. So we pay second terms to the Buddha doctrines as the living Buddha. Because we get knowledge from the Buddha doctrines. This we pay homage to the Dhamma, the Buddha doctrine. So we pay homage to the Buddha holy disciple. Because since the time of the Buddha, until now, 2,600 years, from one generation to another, carry on the Buddha's teaching, teach people to understand the truth. That's why we pay homage to the Buddha's holy disciple. So we know that all is the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, so-called this triple gem. You understand their value. Start with knowledge, right? You pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, just mean with knowledge. As you pay respect to who respect is due, you will see the good consequences. See, humbly, respectfully, prostrate, pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. At that moment, see, your mind, oh, what's the one I should do? As I humbly, with respect to, I will see good consequences. So with knowledge. So unprompted. No one forces you to do that from your heart. Just do it. This number 5. See that? It's very powerful too, right? With indifference, with knowledge, unprompted. And number 6, this is the nature of, this is the conscious number 6, with indifference, with knowledge, and prompting. if someone tells you, explain to you, we should do some generosity. You listen there. And then, doing this generosity is good. It's a good thing to do. But you're feeling with indifference. You know this is the good thing. You know this is the good karma, which produces the good result. This means with knowledge, but prompted. Being prompted by others, your friend, your parents, suggest you to do that. And you make decision to do some kind of generosity. It's number 6, with indifference, with knowledge, and prompted. So after we know this nature, so you can examine yourself. So every moment, when we do the good thing, when we say the good word, think about, have good thought. So what are those? So as you know yourself, know your mind, you will know someone else, someone might do. So you can do that. So number 7, with indifference, without knowledge, unprompted. Like some kid come to the temple, for example, right? So a lot of examples to take here. So kid come to the temple. So with indifference, they are not happy about that. Without knowledge, they don't know, oh, we bow to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. They don't know it's good karma. So without knowledge. So unprompted, they just do it right away, they get used to. See that? They get used to. At home, they do it every day. We go to temple, they do it right away without, so being induced by someone. They just do it. How do you feel? With indifferent, without knowledge. So the last one, number 8. With indifference, without knowledge, and prompted. For example, you go somewhere, your friends just tell you, explain to you, ask you to do some generosity, help these homeless people, for example, right? How you feel? Neutral feeling, just bit indifferent. You don't know, is that the good thing to do? Is the good karma? Will produce good result? Without knowledge. But someone suggests you, force you to do that, and then finally you make decision, okay, do something. See, with indifference, without knowledge, prompted. This wholesome consciousness too, but the lowest one. As lowest one, when it's produced the result, get the result, the lowest one too, according to the law of nature, the law of cause effect. So we have 8 classes of this wholesome consciousness. For example, now all of you here come to class, right? What type of consciousness? Wholesome consciousness. Are you happy or not? Happy with pleasure. So, without knowledge or with knowledge? With knowledge, we should study. So, when we study the Buddha's teaching, as all of you know, is the right way of life. It's the art of living. See? How to live happily, peacefully, blamelessly, right. This is the Buddha's teaching. It's the right way of life. That's why you come to learn. You know it's a good thing to learn. We produce the good result with knowledge. Who forced you to come here? from your heart, right? Unprompted, number one, the best one, the best one. Therefore, someone else, for example, so what I'm talking about now, if you don't understand the meaning, what I'm talking about, without knowledge, see that you know yourself, so you come to the class, you feel very happy. So you know it's the good thing to learn. It's not for someone, for yourself, right? For liberation. So our ultimate goal of Buddhism is the liberation. To be liberated from mental defilement. To be liberated from all kind of mystery. So with knowledge, if someone suggests you, try to explain to you many, many times, and you think about that, finally, okay, I'm going to try. And you come and try, from that, it's not unprompted. Right? Number two, you know yourself. Number two, and so on. So a lot of examples we can take here. As someone comes to temple, observes 8 precepts, and practice meditation. Some few days. Some maybe just 1 hour. Like during meditation section, 9 to 10 a.m., 2 to 3 p.m., or 5 to 6 p.m. So when you come here, just examine your mind. What number you will know yourself, with pleasure, or with indifference, or with knowledge, or without knowledge, or unprompted, or prompted. Some come to the temple by being prompted by someone else. You should go and try. Go and learn, go and practice 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Later on, finally, you make decision, go to the temple. So, you can check your mind, right? So, you do some generosity, same thing. So, everyone want to gain the good food, the good stuff. Everyone want it, right? Want the best one. If you want the best one, you should have the best one of consciousness. This with pleasure, with knowledge, and prompting. So when we understand it about that, you can change your mind. See that? From indifference to pleasure. From without knowledge to knowledge. From prompted to unprompted. See? So every day, since you get up in the morning, so we already started about unwholesome consciousness 12. So wholesome consciousness 8. That number is different, right? Unwholesome consciousness number is bigger than wholesome consciousness. That's what it arises a lot. It's without awareness. That's why we need to practice meditation to get used to be aware of every physical, mental activities. What happened to your thought, your mind, your body, your feeling, your sensation, your emotion should be aware of it. Otherwise, greed, anger, delusion arise. So we study about that. Even the great and delusion and so on arise, know it right away. Change to wholesome consciousness. Mind is so powerful. As already we know, 1 second can be right in the sphere thousands of billions times. That's why we need very powerful. We need to control. We need to tame it culturally. That's why meditation becomes mental culture. It's to culture our mind, to tame our mind. And then you will proud yourself. As we already started about, you listen to music, happy about that. It's great, right? So you don't like someone or something. It's anger to do something. It's not supposed to arise like that. So you should have wise attention, proper attention. We need to change from unwholesome consciousness to be a wholesome consciousness. So when you practice meditation, for example, practice meditation, at that moment, what type of consciousness will arise? Sometimes maybe with knowledge, sometimes without knowledge, sometimes maybe unprompted, maybe prompted, maybe with different or pleasure or with indifference. You will know yourself, you will know your mind, changing one after another. So it's good to know that. So when you practice meditation, you gain concentration, you see. Practice meditation, maybe you focus on your breath in and out, or focus on your abdominal movement, rising and falling. So I be able to practice meditation. It's no greed, no anger, delusion. You feel very happy. That's with pleasure. But with pleasure, you know that with knowledge, you see that this mind and body is arising in the spirit. You see that this with knowledge. So you know it every without thinking about it. You notice every moment, every noting. You notice mind and body arise in the spirit. So become number one with pleasure, with knowledge, and unprompted. So do we really know this about the nature of this mind and body? Do you think about what you are studying, what you hear with someone else? Finally, you know the meaning. Something like that. It's to become prompted, right? So you practice meditation, you don't know anything without knowledge. So mainly here, whatever you do, the good thing, you say the good word, you have the good thought, one of these 8 sensual sphere wholesome consciousness will arise. Now you already know which one is the best, right? Number 1 and 2, 5 and 6, it's good, right? Mind here, pleasure or indifferent, it doesn't matter. It's not important much. Mind here with knowledge and without knowledge. That's why we have to study. As we study, as we know, put into practice. Right? So, I hope all of you already understand what he's talking about, right? So 8 types of this wholesome consciousness. So, how about the sensual sphere resultant consciousness? 8. Same. And their nature is the same. So with pleasure, with knowledge, unprompted. So that's why sensual sphere resultant consciousness 8. When it will arise, you should know that too. When it will arise, if you do some generosity, morality, meditation, is number 1. When you give to the self, you give yourself number 1. Number 1. So if you do the good thing, right? Number 2, we give the self. Number 2, sensual sphere resultant consciousness. Right? So their nature, the name, same. Here I will allow you to know this sensual sphere resultant consciousness, their functions. So mainly we call relinquishing consciousness or rebirth consciousness. After you die, we have to take conception, right? It's our mother womb. It's the initial consciousness is called rebirth consciousness. If your rebirth consciousness is associated with knowledge, wisdom, that person in this life, you will be able to gain jhana absorption. You will be able to gain enlightenment, becomes noble person. Please remember, if your rebirth consciousness associates with the Guru, remember root, right? Guru is meant just in Pali, aloha, non-greed. Adosa, non-anger. Amoha, non-delusions. So, when you do the good thing, this consciousness associated with just the good root. When you give to the self, your rebirth consciousness will associate with 3 good root. So you'll be able to practice meditation and becomes noble person. Even though you can become an arhat. See that? If your rebirth consciousness without knowledge for this life, even you try hard to practice meditation, maybe 100 years, you will not have opportunities to gain enlightenment. Because you're linking consciousness, rebirth consciousness without knowledge. See that? That's why when we understand this point, what we have to do, we do something should be, associated with the good root. For example, you come to the temple, you offer something. See, your belonging, this hard-earned money, now you're not attached to your belonging. You offer to someone, you give to someone, you share with someone. This means non-greed. See that? It's guru, non-greed. All we call aloha. And dosa, non-anger. Non-anger is meant loving kindness. Please remember. Because dosa or non-anger, non-hatred, or loving kindness, all of it synonyms. So you start, because you give to someone Because you want to provide some thing for good, the welfare and happiness of the recipients from your heart, loving kindness, because art is good. And also, you understand generosity is the good thing to do. See, the good thing to do. When you do some generosity, share your belongings to others. This means you make someone happy, right? Someone will receive that they're very happy. Even it gives the animal, they're very happy too. So you make someone happy, you will be happy too. It's the law of nature, the law of cause effect. That's why in our lives, we're not supposed to have, selfishness. So it should be selflessness. So what you can do, the welfare and happiness of others, buy some material thing, or use your physical energy, use your mental energy, use your wisdom, use your ability, help someone to be happy, to prosperous, successful. See that? You understand yourself. I'm with someone's happy, I'll be happy too. I will receive the good consequences. This means what road? Moha, non-delusion. See that? Non-delusion, wisdom. So you do some generosity, your consciousness accompanies with that good road, non-greed, non-delusion or loving kindness, and non-delusion or wisdom. So please remember, whatever you do, just examine your mind. Mostly when we do something, the two rules always appear, please remember. Two rules, non-greed, non-delusion. But mainly here, what we need to add, non-delusion, wisdom. If three root combined with three root, your consciousness becomes powerful. As it becomes powerful, when you give to the self, it's a good self. So your linking consciousness is the harmony with the wisdom since you was young. Some kid very smart, very cute, right? Because they are rebirth consciousness connected with the wisdom. So when you learn, very easy to understand. And when you practice meditation, very easy to gain concentration and wisdom. That's why this person be able to gain jhana absorption. Gains enlightenment, becomes noble person. So everyone wonder, right? So please remember, whatever you do, you say, you think about. Should be three rules accompanied with this your consciousness. So, for the sensual sphere with certain conscious state, just briefly understand as I explain now. And sensual sphere functional consciousness A. For this functional consciousness is not for all of us, for Arahant only, please remember. Arahant means who gained the full state of sainthood becomes Arahant. So may all of you know that when we practice meditation, before we gain enlightenment, in Pali term we call Udujana. In English we call worldly or ordinary person. When you practice meditation, you go in the first stage of enlightenment. This becomes stream and true. And then continue to practice meditation, you will gain second stage of enlightenment. We call one return. And proceed your practice. You will gain the third stage of enlightenment, become non-return. If you practice meditation, you gain the first stage of enlightenment, you become Arahant. When you become Arahant, you will not attach to anything, anyone. Please remember, you will not attach to anything, anyone. You will not expect they do good thing. To say the good word, have good thought. You will not respect any rewards. As they don't attach to anything, they don't expect anything, whatever they do, their consciousness, instead of wholesome consciousness, become functional consciousness. That's what for Arahant only. So sensual sphere, functional consciousness, just for Arahant only. So now we study sensual sphere, wholesome consciousness, sensual sphere, resultant consciousness, and sensual sphere, functional consciousness, What do you get it? 24. Right? 24. You think about, even though we have 89 types of consciousness, if you not gain jhana, you will not gain just the form sphere consciousness, and so on. So, here, for the functional consciousness for on, you cannot get it. When we study rootless consciousness, the last one, smile producing consciousness 1, right? So smile producing consciousness 1 and functional consciousness 8 become 9, right? 9 to dark from how many one we have? Already study 54, right? 54. We cannot get for functional consciousness 9 become 45. See that? Only 45 can arise enough for all of us. Even though we have briefly 89, broadly 121 type of consciousness in our daily life, what can be experienced is only 45 type of consciousness. So every day, some wholesome consciousness, some unwholesome consciousness, some resultant consciousness, what I studied last week, right? You see, or desirable object, just the result of the wholesome deed what you have done in the past, right? So some you see the good thing, hear the good sound, and so on. Some you see undesirable object, you hear undesirable sound, and so on. So depend on what we have done in the previous slide, we have to receive that. So every day, so you can guess your mind, right? Wholesome or unwholesome, or the subconsciousness, what are they exactly? Know that. So, regarding about form sphere consciousness, if we talk about that, so we need some explanation. I think maybe next week we start about it. It's better, I think. Now for today, we just study about this 54 type of consciousness. It's very important for all of us to understand it. When we practice meditation, you see something. Mostly with I see it. See it? I see it. I feel it. I see with my arm. I hear with my ear. So we used to say that. It's not right. According to this realities, who see that? I consciousness see that. It's not you. It's not man, not woman. So when you practice meditation, see it all. Seeing is the thing. We see something, it's not you, it's not I. Who see that? I consciousness see it. So, in reality, we should know that. And when see, we cannot see it all the time. When the object appears, see it. When the object disappears, no seeing consciousness. So you know, oh, because of the cause. When we have the cause, we will have the effect. So no cause, no effect. So every moment, this object arises and disappears. As the object arises and disappears, the consciousness, the same consciousness arises and disappears too. So we know their nature as impermanent. See that? Then we should know their nature. It's no form, no shape. Right? No form, no shape. Just realities, just nature. So this support our meditation practice. When you practice meditation, you usually have all this. For example, you sit meditation, you hear something, maybe you don't like that, you get angry about that. So become unwholesome consciousness. So when you know your nature, here you see, you hear about something, just hearing. Be aware of that. And then it's gone. So no anger. So when you see the nature, who know that? Wisdom. Wisdom. How you feel? Maybe with indifference. Right? With indifference. And with knowledge, you say, oh, arising and disappearing. And unprompted or prompted. So then, one of, say, wholesome consciousness arises. See that? So, whenever you see, you hear, you smell, you taste, you touch, think about something, good or bad, it doesn't matter. When you know this realities, you'll be able to aware all kinds of these objects. No end, no delusion arise. No room for mental defilement to arise. That's why the Buddha suggests us. We need to study. We call it Pali, Pariyati, study, learn. And Patipati. As you learn, as you know, put into practice. We call it Patipati. And then Pativeda. You will understand the meaning and you will gain the good self. It's liberation. So that's what all of you, as you study wholesome consciousness, unwholesome consciousness, and so on, so be able to understand all these consciousness realities, not as person, no form, no shape, just nature. As when you start about consciousness, this awareness of an object. See it? Our minds knowing objects all the time. Even you fall asleep, we'll study later because it's like continuums. Just take the object. So, as soon as you wake up, your mind takes the object. So, the nature of the tendency of this conscious mind is knowing the objects all the time. This is their nature. That's why, as already known, put into practice and to gain wholesome consciousness. As you gain wholesome consciousness, we already receive the good consequences, especially gains enlightenment in this very life. Thank you for the night. Okay, and now, question? Welcome, Lisa.
In regards to with the wholesome consciousness, and you talk about being with indifference, but say I come to the temple and I bring an offering of food, but I'm thinking about an argument I've had with my husband, and so I'm angry at him. I come here and I'm not, I might be here, I'm not indifferent because I'm still angry at him, or my thoughts are focused on something else. Does that make the action still wholesome?
Yes. This mind, wholesome consciousness, unwholesome consciousness can arise together at the same time. So when you have an argument at that moment, it's unwholesome consciousness. Mm-hmm. When you do something good, this moment, wholesome consciousness, different.
Okay, so even if I'm giving you something as I'm cursing him out in my mind, that still would be wholesome.
The mind is so fast, so wholesome, unwholesome, wholesome, unwholesome.
Okay, so in that moment when I'm happy, when I'm giving it to you, yes. That consciousness, that...
Yes.
Okay, that dosa is gone. Okay.
I have a question, clarification from the last week. You mentioned that vijnana, the consciousness, chitta,
yes,
or the mind, the same as vijnana.
Yes.
And it appears to me that did Buddha mention like vijnana and the mind intermittently in different places, but it means the same thing.
No, that's the synonym.
Synonym.
Yes. Vijnana, our mind, our consciousness, the synonym.
So when you say lobha, vijnana or a lobha,
it's the same? Is the mental state, mental factors. Lobha is mental factor. That's why we got unwholesome consciousness rooted in lobha. See that? This lobha is mental factor. They influence the consciousness. So our mind, our consciousness is the luminous, it's bright, clear, but this lobha, dosa, more, these mental factors come and influence the mind and become lobha citta. If dosa, anger, the mental factors, they influence the mind, become dosa. So they influence the consciousness. So please remember lobha, dosa, moha, and so on is mental factor. We will study later. So that's why I will finish this consciousness roughly, and we go to the mental factors. Very interesting. After that, we go to the rupa matter, 28 types of matters. After you know the consciousness, the mental factors and matter, and then we go mind class, right? It's the law of conservation. We just only hedu pajayo only root consciousness, which go aramana pajayo. Because later on we study manodadu, manonyanadadu, and so on. So that's why we need to study in advance. And then later on we know what it's talking about, what consciousness.
So if I understand like this consciousness as vijnana in here, is that okay?
No, yes, vijnana. That's we call Jakku vijnana. We already studied about that. Jakku, eye consciousness, you see? Jakku vijnana.
It's not, in a sense, mind. It's just I have to understand as a vijnana here.
Yes, vijnana. When you see mind, please remember consciousness and mental factors combined together become mind. Because inseparable. Please remember, consciousness cannot arise independently. Mental factor cannot arise independently. They have to combine together, arise together.
It's
That's what we call mind. Whenever you see mind, this means consciousness as mental factors.
Mind combined between Chitta and Chittasika.
Yes, Chitta is the consciousness, Chittasika is mental factors. That's just mind and this consciousness as mental factors, this combination of these two we call mind.
So which one is more powerful?
They arise together. No, they arise together, as I mentioned right now. For the mind, so because the mental factor, they influence the consciousness. That's why, if you compare with the consciousness, like very clear, very pure water. Mental factors, greed, anger, delusion, and so on, is like some mixed color. For example, you have some powder or some color, or maybe red ink, for example, put into the water. How come? The water becomes red color, right? Is the one that says the white color, waters become white color. So mental factors influence the consciousness. So we will study it later. We call it 52 mental state. So we already happens to in our mind every day. So we just don't know the name, their nature. That's why we study Abhidhamma, the Buddhist philosophy. We study about our mind. So we have the mental factors and always associated with wholesome consciousness or unwholesome consciousness or both. So we study about that after we finish this consciousness. Like we talk about this feeling of perception and so on, it's the mental state. It's our confidence, faith, this consciousness, our wisdom, our loving kindness, our compassion, and so on. It's mental. The name of mental factors.
So mental factor is Chaitasika?
Yes, Chaitasika. So they translate as Chaitasika, mental factor or mental state, mental concomitant, mental associate, mental qualities. A lot of translation because some Pali Chaitasika is almost no equivalent English translation. Some you have to use in Pali language the best. For example, metta, loving kindness, love, right? See that? So no word to translate the metta, this Pali language, no equivalent English term. Because we use metta is better. That's why Jitasika, some is translated mental factor, mental state, mental concomitant, mental associate. Some is mental qualities. See that? So don't worry about that. We study about that. I explain to all of you what is the meaning, then you will know that.
So Bhante, for the Vijnana, it's a consciousness is the closest we can associate in English term?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
The one we use is the closest translation. Like Jira, volition and so on, activities, same word activity. So no equivalent English term. So we use the closest term. Because the Pali language, in the time of the Buddha, 2,600 years ago, the term they used it, right? Okay, anyone has any question?
Lobha dosha moha really akusala or akusala mula?
Yes, that's the alobha adasama is the mental state. This consciousness rooted in greed, we call lobha mula chitta. This consciousness rooted in lobha. That's why we call it Pali lobha mula. Mula is in the root.
Bhante, I have a question with the sensual sphere, wholesome consciousness. I thought with indifference, with knowledge unprompted is the best because there's no attachment with, when we say pleasure, it's
Not
attachment.